tuyatende na kufikia mambo yote atakayofikishwa mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya nchi yetu na wale ambao haja zao umezikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amen. Clerk, do we have quorum? Sergeant at Arms, kindly ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes.
Well, the House has commenced business this afternoon. And now we have the quorum bell for senators to make their way into the chamber. We have a number within the presence of Parliament, and that bell is to alert them that they ought to be in the chamber, as the time appointed for the sitting is here with us. And their entry into the chamber will allow the House to raise quorum. On your screens, you can see them streaming into the chamber this afternoon. But as we await for that quorum to be attained, the House will be voting on a motion by the joint sitting of the National Assembly, Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning, and the Senate Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the approval hearings of the nominees for the appointment to the board of the Central Bank. These are the nominees that will be replacing the outgoing nominees whose debate was held yesterday for the better part of the afternoon sitting of the House, with members recognizing the role of the outgoing board members in cushioning Kenyans against inflation at the height of COVID-19 pandemic. So the debate on the four nominees have already been concluded upon, and what awaits the House this afternoon is for the House to vote on the approval of the nominees. Away from that, the report of the Senate delegation to the high-level political forum of the year 2024 on sustainable development is a motion by Senator Hamida Kibwana. In this motion, the senator wants the Senate to note the report of the Senate delegation to the high-level political forum on 2024 sustainable development. This forum was held in New York, in the United States of America, from the 8th to the 17th of July 2024. And the caucus representing Parliament of Kenya laid its report on the table of the House on the 20th of February 2025. Equally, the senators will be resuming debate on the provision of sanitary towels. This is Senate Bills number 7 of the year 2024 by Senator Gloria Oruoba, that by and large seeks to caution Kenyans against period poverty and the ills associated with it, by making sure that sanitary towels are easily accessible to Kenyans, and especially the school-going children. The Sports Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 33 of the year 2024, is lined up for a debate this afternoon. This is a bill by Senator for Nairobi County, Senator Edwin Sifuna. The report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the fourth basis for the allocation of the share of national revenue among counties is motion number 13 on today's order paper. The Chairperson Standing Committee on Finance and Budget, Honorable Ibrahim Roba, on behalf of his committee, is seeking to have the Senate adopt the report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the fourth basis for the allocation, for the allocating the share of national revenue among counties. The committee laid its report on the table of the Senate on the 17th of April 2025, and pursuant to Article 217, subsection 1 of the Constitution, approves the fourth basis for allocating the share of the national revenue among counties for the financial year 2025, 2026, all the way to 2029 to 2030 financial years. The quorum has been achieved. Allow me to hand you over.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable Senators, would like to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon, a visiting delegation of Hansard officers from the Parliament of Ghana, the National Assembly of the Gambia, the County Assembly of Nyeri, the County Assembly of Trans Nzoia, and the County Assembly of Nyandarua, who are undertaking a training at the Center for Parliamentary Studies, CPST. Honorable Senators, I request each member of the delegation to stand when called out so that you may be acknowledged in the Senate tradition. Mr. Adam Idrisu, Mr. Emmanuel Kwaku Sedzro, Ms. Charlotte Ekubea Gyoyu, Mr. Osmat Adjei Anti, Ms. Grace Kekoe Esman Foley, Ms. Deborah Adu Gamfi, Mrs. Isatu Kasama, Mr. Mamat Mbowe, Mr. Lamin AJ Saneth, Ms. Lucy Bitutu, Ms. Susan Sebastian, Ms. Nyambura Wahome, Mr. Bernard Kipsang Kwalia, Ms. Josephine Maina, and Mr. Gashomo Maina. Now, honorable senators, on behalf of the Senate and my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome and wish you a fruitful visit. I will ask the Majority Whip under 1 minute to extend a word of welcome to the delegations.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for allowing me to welcome our visitors. And dear visitors, the reason this afternoon you see the House is slow to start off is because we've lost a colleague of ours. So there is a requiem mass that is ongoing. So most members of Parliament are out there. Welcome to Kenya, especially those ones from Ghana. Ghana and Kenya, we draw quite a number of similarities. And we are proud to note that you have strengthened your democracy. The difficult times you had of military coups is now behind you, and we hope you'll remain a strong partner to the Republic of Kenya. The senator speaking is from a gold mining county, just like what you have in your country. Feel most welcome. But when you are in your assembly, remind your elected leaders every time they go to Great Britain and when they go to the House of Lords, they should always complain that that long throne of 20 feet of pure gold where the king now sits, they should pay for it. That is gold from Ekolomani in Kenya and gold from Accra in Ghana. They stole it from us. You're most welcome.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Senate, the Chairperson Standing Committee on Health. Senator Mariam, you may proceed to lay the paper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate today, 7th May 2025. The report of the Standing Committee on Health on petition to the Senate by Ms. Mercy Chepcherit regarding the alleged medical negligence and staff incompetency, which led to the death of Anita Chepkorir at Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital. Thank you.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
The Chairperson, Standing Committee on Health.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Notice of motion, consideration of the report of the Standing Committee on the Health on the petition of the Senate by the Mercy Chepcherit regarding the alleged medical negligence and staff competency, which leads to the death of Anita Chepkorir at Moi Teaching Referral Hospital. Mr. Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motions: that the Senate adopt the report of the Standing Committee on Health on petition on the Senate by Mrs. Mercy Chepcherir regarding the alleged medical negligence and staff incompetence, which led to the death of Anita Chepkorir at Moi Teaching Referral Hospital, laid on the table of the Senate on Wednesday, 7th May 2025. Thank you.
Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Statement pursuant to Standing Order 53-1, the Senator for Nyandarua, the Honorable John Methu. That statement is dropped. The statement by Senator Omtata is deferred pursuant to the Honorable Senator's own request. Senator Raphael Chimera.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a request for statement on the collapse and liquidation of Imperial Bank Limited, Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on a matter of national concern regarding the collapse and liquidation of the Imperial Bank Limited, Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, the collapse of Imperial Bank Limited in 2016 adversely affected thousands of depositors, many of whom lost access to their life savings and working capital. In December 2021, the Central Bank of Kenya, CBK, appointed the Kenya Deposit Insurance Corporation, KDIC, as liquidator of Imperial Bank Limited in receivership, IBLIR, in terms of sections 53, subsection 2, and 54, subsection 1, subsection A of the Kenya Deposit Insurance Act 2012, with the objective of reimbursing affected depositors and creditors. In the statement, the committee should address the following. Number 1, the total number of depositors who had banked with Imperial Bank Limited at the time of its closure, including the total value of deposits held and the amount that has so far been refunded to the depositors. Number 2, the progress made in the sale and disposal of Imperial Bank's remaining assets and how the proceeds are being applied towards depository funds. Number 3, the measures and strategies currently in place by the CBK and KDIC to ensure that every depositor, regardless of the amount held, is fully refunded in a timely and transparent manner. Number 4, whether individuals involved in the fraud and mismanagement that led to the collapse of the bank have been identified, prosecuted, and held accountable under the law. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, the policy reforms or safeguards being introduced or considered to prevent similar incidents in Kenya's banking sector in the future. Mr. Speaker, with your kind permission, I also have a second statement. Perhaps I can go ahead and read it, Mr. Speaker. So, request for statement on the suspension of licensing of foreign medical practitioners in Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health on a matter of international concern regarding the suspension of licensing of all foreign medical personnel in Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, before 2014, the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Councils, into brackets KMPDC, had a provision for permanent registration of foreign doctors, but after changes in regulations, the said KMPDC adopted to issue foreign medical practitioners with temporary licenses, which subjects them to the same regulations and code of conduct that guide the practice of medicine and dentistry in the country. This includes garnering 50 continuous professional development CPD points yearly before they are able to renew their practicing licenses online. Mr. Speaker, sir, on the 27th of April 2025, the Cabinet Secretary for Health, the Honorable Aden Duale, EGH, directed KMPDC to suspend licensing of foreign medics, save for those from East African states, and the Council to also audit the already licensed foreign doctors. In the statement, Mr. Speaker, the committee should address the following. Number one, the reasons behind the suspension of licensing of foreign medical practitioners to practice in Kenya, and how the suspension affects those who are already licensed and practicing in Kenya. Number two, the impact of this suspension on healthcare delivery across the country. Number three, the number of the currently licensed foreign medical practitioners, their workstations, and specific timelines and criteria for conducting the said audit. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, the duration of the suspension, review mechanisms, and any planned policy reforms during this period aimed to address the underlying issues. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
56(1)B, the Chairperson Standing Committee on Energy. Majority Leader, would you?
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 56(1)B to make a statement on the activities of the Standing Committee on Energy for the first quarter of the fourth session, covering the period commencing 1st January to 30th April 2025. Mr. Speaker, sir, during the period under review, the committee held a total of 12 sittings, during which it considered and concluded on one inquiry. Attached to this statement is a schedule of the legislative business considered by the committee. Mr. Speaker, sir, during the period under review, the committee considered and concluded 5 statements. 10 statements are pending consideration by the committee. The responses on the pending statements have been forwarded to the relevant senators and are awaiting consideration by the committee. The committee met with the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Energy and Petroleum, and received submissions from various state agencies on the 2025 budget policy statement and medium-term debt management strategy. The committee considered proposed policies, programs, expenditure ceilings, 2024-2025, budget implementation status, financial and output performance, capital project status, key policy foundations, performance targets, and project allocations. Key recommendations by the committee on the 2025 Budget Policy Statement, BPS, is that the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum enhances transparency to ensure smooth execution and value for money for public-private partnership projects. The ministry should employ competitive sourcing of private investors as opposed to privately initiated proposals in line with Section 46 of the PPP Act 2021 to enhance transparency and public trust. And the State Department for Energy should prioritize historically marginalized counties which are mostly off-grid when implementing future power transmission projects in a bid to connect them to the national grid and ensure equity in electricity access across counties. In this regard, the committee resolved that the State Department for Energy should submit the feasibility study on the proposed transmission line from Garissa to Wajir. The committee further concluded an inquiry into the supply and delivery of smart meters. This inquiry seeks to promote local production of smart meters, amend the duration of framework agreements, and ensure smart meters are integrated during electricity installations. These measures aim to reduce electricity costs, decrease KPLC's monopoly, and improve efficiency in the sector. The committee adopted a report on the 26th of March 2025. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee concluded a county visit to Wajir aimed at assessing key factors affecting the energy sector at the county level. The committee established that Wajir County is not connected to the national electricity grid, making it dependent on localized power generation. This isolation has exacerbated the region's energy insecurity and limited economic development opportunities in the county. One of the key recommendations of the committee is that the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum should prioritize historically marginalized off-grid counties, particularly Wajir, in the implementation of future power transmission projects to promote equity in electricity access. The committee adopted and tabled its report on 17th April 2025, Mr. Speaker, sir. 2025. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the previous session, the committee finalized its inquiry into the tragic LPG explosion that occurred in the Mradi area, Nairobi County, on 1st February 2024. The explosion, which claimed 11 lives and injured at least 280 people, involved an LPG plant used for storing and filling gas cylinders. During the inquiry, the committee engaged the Cabinet Secretary for Energy and Petroleum, the management of EPRA and NEMA, as well as key private sector stakeholders. The committee's report was adopted and tabled on 31st July 2024, with key recommendations aimed at enhancing public safety, including strengthening safety measures for the operation and handling of LPGs, simplifying the licensing process, enforcing zoning boundaries to avoid similar disasters in the future, reviewing zoning bylaws by counties in to ensure proper classification of urban and peri-urban areas and compensating affected victims through the National Disaster Management Unit, among others. Mr. Speaker, sir, further, the committee has further met with the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Energy and Petroleum, the Council of Governors, and various state agencies to address critical issues, including classifying county government functions related to energy, such as zoning, infrastructure development, and land use regulations, assessing the status of county energy plans and their integration into the National Integrated Energy Plan, reviewing the progress of the South Lochchar Field Development Plan, monitoring ongoing public-private partnerships in the energy sector, and investigating alleged procurement irregularities in the construction of Line 5 by the Kenya Pipeline Company. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the coming quarter, the committee is initiating legislative proposals to amend the Energy Act 2019 to delete Section 223, which prohibits public entities, including county government, from imposing levies on public energy infrastructure without approval by the Cabinet Secretary, and an amendment to the PPP Act to provide for greater transparency in the execution of privately initiated PPP projects. Mr. Speaker, secondly, the committee is looking into the oil spill at Thangwe. Mr. Speaker, I was there over the weekend, last weekend. Thangwe Ward, Makueni County, after reports of rising cases of diabetes, liver and kidney disease among residents of Thangwe Ward, Makueni County, following an oil spill from a Kenya Pipeline Company, KBC Pipeline, in 2015. Mr. Speaker, from 2015, people are still being affected. Further, the committee will engage with the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum on plans to distribute LPG cylinders and accessory by the State Department of Energy to 9.6 million low-income households and public facilities as promised. Mr. Speaker, I wish to thank your office for the support according to the committee in undertaking its work. I also wish to acknowledge the Secretariat support that the committee has received from the Office of the Clerk. Lastly, I wish to commend the members of the committee for their commitment, diligence, and dedication to the work and mandate of the committee. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
In fact, the architect. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Committee of Finance and Budget has a statement understanding order number 56-1B, being our quarterly report, refers to, Mr. Speaker, the following: that understanding this standing order, I wish to make this statement relating to the activities of our Standing Committee on Finance and Budget for the first quarter of the fourth session, covering the period between January and April 2025. During that period, under review, the committee held 29 sittings, during which it processed and conducted 40 statements, considered 10 bills, and tabled 5 reports. Attached to this statement is a schedule of legislative business considered by the committee and their respective status. Mr. Speaker, during the period under review, the committee processed and tabled reports on the following. A, the 2025 budget policy statements with a recommendation that the county equitable share for the financial year 2025-26 stands at 465 billion. B, the 2025 medium-term debt management strategy. C, the County Additional Allocations Bill 225, Senate Bills number 1 of 2025. And D, the fourth basis for allocating the share of national revenue amongst counties for the financial year 2025-2026 to 2029-2030. And E, additionally, the committee held joint sittings with the National Assembly Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning to undertake the approval hearings of FCPA Sophie Muturi, CPA Abdullahi Ali Abdi, MS Beatrice Koskei, and Mr. David Simpson Osawa Owor, the nominees for appointment to the position of members of the board of the Central Bank of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, in accordance with Article 118(2) of the Constitution and the Senate Standing Orders, the committee held consultative meetings with the National Treasury and Economic Planning, the Commission of Revenue Allocation, County Assemblies Forum, the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya, ISPAC, the Budget Hub, the Institute of Public Finance, IPF, the Institute of Economic Affairs, IEA, Office of the Control of the Budget, the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, and the Council of Governors. The committee sought public views on legislative business, including the fourth basis for revenue sharing among county governments, on bills and the appointments of nominees to the Central Bank of Kenya as board directors through an advertisement in 2 national newspapers and other social media platforms. The committee followed the agreed mechanism for processing statements, providing senators with responses as soon as they are received from the relevant agency or county. The senator is required to indicate any issues that need clarification within 14 days, failure to which the statement is considered concluded. Annexed is a list of statements processed by the committee. Mr. Speaker, sir, in consideration of the bills, the committee noted great overlap and repetition in a number of bills. For example, the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill number 3 of the National Assembly, Bills number 44 of 2024, a bill recently received from the National Assembly which has similar provisions to that relating to financial transferred functions. These provisions are already contained in the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 40 of 2023, which was sponsored by Senator Hamida Kibwana, MP, which was processed by this House and referred to the National Assembly in 2024 for consideration. And B, the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill number 2 Bill of the National Assembly, Bills number 26 of 2024. We found that this has similar provisions contained in the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill of 2024, Senate Bills number 27 of 2024, relating to the submission of the County Finance Bill. The committee had tabled a report on the Senate bill, and the bill was awaiting scheduling for second reading in the Senate. The committee is therefore recommending for well-coordinated mechanism between the House's leadership in order to eliminate duplication of bills and redeem the legislative resources. Mr. Speaker, during the second quarter of the year, the committee is scheduled to hold a consultative forum on the County Wards Equitable Development Bill, Senate Bills number 20 of 2024, and B, to process the following. 1, the Division of Revenue Bill, the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Amendment Bill, the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill. C, to consider the reports of the Control of Budget on the implementation of the county government's budget. And D, hold meetings with various county executives to consider issues related to pending bills in the county governments. And finally, E, conclude consideration of the Senate resolution on the level of public debt in Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, within the same quarter, the committee is expected to consider the county allocation of revenue bill for financial year 2025-2026 and the county government's additional allocations for the financial year 2025-2026. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, I wish to thank your office and the Office of the Clerk of the Senate for the continuous support that you continue to afford us accorded to the committee in executing its mandate. Lastly, I also wish to thank members of the committee for their diligence and contributions during the committee's activities. I thank you, and I have read this statement, Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the chair, the Senator, Captain, retired former Governor Ali Ibrahim Roba, EGH, MP. Thank you.
The Chairperson Standing Committee on Health.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to read the statement related to the activities of the Standing Committee on Health pursuant to Standing Order 56-1B for the period between January and April 2025. Mr. Speaker, I rise to pursuant to Standing Order 56-1B to make a statement related to the activities of the Standing Committee on Health for the first quarter of the fourth session covering the period between January and April 2025. During the period under review, committee held 20 meetings during which it considered 3 bills, 1 petition, 1 memorandum, and follow up on the implementation status of 1 Senate resolution. During the same period, 25 statements were referred to the committee for considerations. In the reporting period, the committee held consultative meetings with the Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Health, to deliberate on the proposal, policy, programs, and expenditure ceiling of the respective State Department as contained in 2025 budget policy statement. Mr. Speaker, committee further sorted the information in the status of the financial year 2024-2025 budget and the key policy underlying the expenditure ceiling in 2025 BPS. Honorable Speaker, I wish to report that one of the key recommendations that the committee made during the meeting with the Cabinet Secretary and its reports is that sufficient resources should be allocated to implement policy to employ 20,000 healthcare workers as contained in the PPS 2023. With the foregoing priorities should be given to absorb the estimated 8,000 UHC health care workers currently employed on the contractual terms. Further, the Ministry of Health shall provide details on a different cadres targeted for the employment and their distribution. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the reporting period, the committee considered the stakeholder submission to 3 bills that has been committed to the committee for considerations. They are Tobacco Control Amendment Bill 2024, Senate Bill number 35 of 2024, Kenya Health Product and Technologies Regulatory Authority Bill 2024, National Assembly Bill number 54, 2022. Thirdly, the Community Health Promoters Bill 2024, National Assembly Bill number 53 of 2022. During consideration, the committee observed that some proposed provisions and submissions require classifications and supplementary information from the stakeholder, which will enable the committee propose amendment during the 3rd reading stage. With the foregoing, the committee sought the clarification from the stakeholders which are scheduled for the consideration before the committee prepare reports on the 3 bills. Mr. Speaker, in the reporting period, the committee considered its consideration of the petition regarding the alleged medical negligence and staff incompetency led to the death of Anita Jebkorir at Nemoi Teaching and Referral Hospital. This petition highlights critical issues in healthcare delivery and patient safety in our healthcare facilities and demand urgent attention and action. Mr. Speaker, committee undertook rather thorough inquiries into the issue raised in the petition and prepared its report, which was subsequently being tabled for the adoption by this Honorable House. Mr. Speaker, further, the committee followed up on the implementation status of its reports on the management and the use of Kenyatta University Teaching, Research and Referral Hospital, and the committee sought the information from the State Corporations Advisory Committee, that's CAC, Kenyatta University, and Kenyatta University Teaching, Research and Referral Hospital, amongst other stakeholders. However, the written submissions and the reports received from these stakeholders were unsatisfactory and insufficient. To this end, the committee had scheduled the meeting with all other related stakeholders and agencies, and therefore will prepare reports to be tabled in the House. Mr. Speaker, during the period under review, the committee sought the reports and information on the issues raised in 25 statements that has been referred for consideration from the national government, the county government, and other related stakeholders in this. In this regard, the committee received and shared response to the 29 statements which were subsequently submitted to the Senate for the considerations. Instantly, where response received were found to be unsatisfactory or sufficient, the committee had sought the supplementary information and clarification from the concerned stakeholders. The detailed statement is attached to this statement. Mr. Speaker, as you are aware, the sitting of the Senate held Tuesday, 18th March 2025, you directed the clerk of the Senate to cause a meeting between the Committee on Health the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Health, and the Council of Governors to deliberate on the matters that were raised by Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists, and Dentists Union in the memorandum that had been delivered to the Senate. Mr. Speaker, I wish to report to the House that the committee held meeting with all the relevant stakeholders on Monday, 14th April 2025. During the meeting, representative of the Doctors Union, the Ministry of Health, and the Council of Governors appraised the meeting committee on efforts that has been applied to address the concern regarding non-compliance of collective bargaining agreement entered into between KMPDU and national government through the Ministry of Health and the county government to uphold and define rights to a fair labor and decent work for the doctors. The committee is currently preparing the comprehensive reports on the matter. Mr. Speaker, sir, during the current quarter, the committee seeks to inquire into policy and institutional reform being undertaken at Kenya Medical Supply Authorities to enhance its efficiency, transparency, and accountability. The committee will further inquire into the infrastructure and the facility being put in place by the two levels of government to implement UHC successfully, the challenge faced, and if any, the strategies applied to address these challenges. Mr. Speaker, sir, in conclusion, I wish to thank your office and the office of the Clerk of the Senate for continue supporting accorded to the committee in executing its mandate. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, I also wish to thank the members of the committee for their diligence and contribution during committee activities. I thank you.
Now, honorable senators, before I allow comments on the statements sought, I'll beseech you that we do handle order number 8, 9, and 10, and then we can come back to comments. These are orders that require a voice vote. We can dispense with the same in the next 5 minutes at most. Clerk, proceed to call those orders.
Order number 8, motion, report of the joint sitting of the National Assembly, Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning, and the Senate Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the approval hearing of the nominees for appointment to the Board of Central Bank of Kenya. Question to be put.
Clerk, do we have the requisite quorum? Now, honorable senators, this is a matter that does not affect counties, and therefore voting shall be by voice. I'll proceed to put the question. That the Senate adopt the joint report of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning of the National Assembly and the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget of the Senate on the approval hearing of the nominees for appointment to the Board of Central Bank of Kenya, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, the 6th of May, 2025, and now pursuant to Section 11.2 of the Central Bank of Kenya Act and Section 8.2 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, the Senate approved the appointment of the following nominees as members of the Board of Central Bank of Kenya. 1, FCPA Sophie Muturi. 2, CPA Abdullahi Mohammed Abdi. 3, Ms. Beatrice Koskei and Mr. David Simpson Osawa Oworo. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, report of the 14th ordinary session of the Plenary Assembly and the related meetings of the Forum of Parliaments of the International Conference of the Great Lakes Region held in Livingstone, Zambia from 15th to 19th of April 2024, Resumption of debate. Question to be put.
Do we have the necessary quorum? Honorable Senators, this is a matter that does not affect counties, and therefore the voting shall be by voice. And I'll proceed to put the question. That the Senate notes the report of the 14th Ordinary Session of the Plenary Assembly and related meetings of the Forum for Parliaments of the International Conference of the Great Lakes Region, held in Livingstone, Zambia, from the 15th to the 19th of April 2024, laid on the table of the Senate on Thursday, the 30th of May 2024. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 10, motion, report of the Senate delegation to the High-Level Political Forum 2024 on sustainable development, resumption of debate, question to be put.
Do we have the requisite quorum, clerk? Again, this is a matter that does not affect counties, and therefore voting shall be by voice. I will therefore proceed to put the question. That the Senate notes the report of the Senate delegation to the High-Level Political Forum 2024 on sustainable development, held in New York, United States of America, from the 8th to the 17th of July 2024, laid on the table of the Senate on Thursday, 20th February 2025. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Now, honorable senators, we will now resume comments on the statements sought today, starting with Senator Wamatinga.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir, for according me this opportunity to add my voice to the statements that have been raised today. Most of, Mr. Speaker, sir, the reports that have been presented before the floor of this House, Mr. Speaker, we know that we have a law, we have an obligation, we have a political and moral obligation to the Kenyan citizens to raise matters that affect them. Mr. Speaker, sir, I've listened and listened keenly to various statements that have been led. I've listened keenly to the reports that have been presented before us. And indeed, Mr. Speaker, sir, for those who doubted the performance of this House, Mr. Speaker, I want to say, yes, we have indeed done quite a good job, very commendable, but we can do more. Mr. Speaker, allow me to commend the report that was laid by the chair of the Finance Committee. Allow me to commend the report that was laid before this House by the chair of the Energy Committee, my successor, because indeed this lays patent issues that affect this country, and more so the distribution of power and its connectivity. Mr. Speaker, sir, indeed it should never be lost that 80% of the landmass of Kenya only contributes to 20% of the GDP. This, Mr. Speaker, can be largely be attributed to the fact that they are not connected to the national grid. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the said tour that was undertaken by the Committee of Energy to Ujel County, indeed we saw the potential that was in that county. We saw, in absence of connectivity to the national grid, them relying with only power from generators, which is very, very expensive, not only expensive, but also very toxic to the environment. It leaves a lot and does a lot of disservice to the county of Wajir. This, Mr. Speaker, extends to the county of Mandela, county of Marsabit, county of Garissa, and we must, as a nation, realize that the potential we have, and we're talking about 80% of the landmass of this country, if connected to the national grid, Mr. Speaker, we can achieve far much more. Mr. Speaker, looking at the GDP that we are enjoying right now, 4.5%, which is only attributable to 20% of the landmass. The question that lingers in our mind is how much more can we be able to achieve if we are able to bring on board the 80% of the landmass? Mr. Speaker, sir, a few suggestions have been put forward, and I do agree with the presentation that if we were to look at the PPPs from a different approach, Mr. Speaker, we can be able to unlock private equity. We'll be able to unlock the potential that we have as a country to ensure that moving forward, Mr. Speaker, this country, we get development in every corner of this country, and that would be development for everybody. Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to point out that I'm one of those of the opinion that development in any part of this country is indeed development everywhere. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I would expect that every member of this House will rise and say, yes, we must support the connectivity of even the marginalized areas to the national grid so that we can be able to share the national cake as we also look forward at sharing the national obligation, because everybody will have an equal opportunity to contribute to the national growth. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is not also lost to us that just a few days ago, Mr. Speaker, the President pronounced himself into ensuring that we have road networks across the country. Mr. Speaker, this is the way that we must look at it. It is, Mr. Speaker, not lost to us that this is not time to do politics. This is not time to segregate ourselves into tribal cocoons, but rather look at this country, the potential that we have, and more so the responsibility that we have towards the younger generation, and more so providing this opportunity, and that can only be done by ensuring that they join the main grid, which is the digital economy, and that can never be done, Mr. Speaker, if we do not join them to the national grid. Mr. Speaker, sir, I support.
Honorable Senators, we are just making comments on the statements. That is why I disagree with you, because you are just making a comment on a particular statement. So next is Wambua, just 3 minutes, every member, 3 minutes, every senator. Just 3 minutes are enough to make a comment.
Mr. Speaker, I cannot argue with your ruling, but you know that, Mr. Speaker, is not very procedural. Once the debate has started, you cannot just limit it like that. But that's fine, Mr. Speaker.
That's why I'm saying this is not a debate. You are making just a comment on a statement.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, I will try. If I don't make it, Mr. Speaker, I will ask you to give me a minute extra. Mr. Speaker, I want to begin by commenting the Committee on Energy, especially on their visit to Thange River last week. Mr. Speaker, it is unimaginable that an oil spill that happened in 2015, the people of Thange are still grappling with the consequences of that oil spill, and the government is almost mum on that issue. As Speaker, I want to appeal to the committee led by Senator Oburu to go beyond just scratching the surface on that matter, and to ensure that, Mr. Speaker, that the truth of the matter in relation to that spill and the suffering of the people of Thange come to light. The Speaker, it is a very weird thing that, actually what happened is that the oil spill was detected in 2015. There is no telling how much longer that spill was happening and how much longer these people have consumed contaminated water every day of their life. Mr. Speaker, what needs to happen in other democracies, that would be a serious crisis. Be a serious crisis, Mr. Speaker. There is a call to action in that happening, Mr. Speaker, to ensure actually a complete shutdown of the entire region to clean up the mess before you can allow people to live and grow crops and take water from that place. And serious conversation, the Speaker, needs to happen. The Speaker, on the Committee on Health, on the matter, Mr. Speaker, of the inquiries that they are carrying out. The Speaker, allow me to say this, that the Committee of Health needs to move this House and this country
Give him a minute, but observe the signs.
I would do that, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the matter of the Health Committee, this team, led by former governor of Uasin Gishu, must begin to deal with matters of healthcare beyond political statements. We don't want the committee to sit with politicians and come and report what the politicians told them. Mr. Speaker, we want this committee to carry out inquiries, to go into hospitals and tell us why so many hospitals in Kitui County do not have drugs, and tell us why there is serious problems in Nandi, why the Eldoret Teaching and Referral Hospital has issues with the Speaker. We don't want this committee to begin behaving like just a committee, an ad hoc committee that sits with ministers and politicians, and they are told what to come and tell this house. We want this committee to go to the ground. Mr. Speaker, health is a very critical function of this house. It's a devolved function. It's a devolved function. And they need to go and we have a doctor. I'm not very sure whether Dr. Alwale is a member of that committee. Maybe he's not. They need to consult him, and he can lead them on how best to take up matters of health, Mr. Speaker. But this thing of sitting in boardrooms and bringing us reports, Mr. Speaker, if I was marking for that committee on the report that they have given the Speaker, I would have said they have done very badly. They have done very poorly. The Speaker, these committees must begin to do work. The Speaker, this is a serious thing. Health is nothing. It's not something that we are going to be cutting deals on. We will not. We will demand that action be taken, Mr. Speaker, as well on other issues. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Vice Chair, Committee on Health, Vice Chair, Senator Mariam Sheikh. Is it you want to give you a part of the story on what has been alleged by Senator Enoch is true?
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity.
Senator Chalgei, Onda.
Speaker, one of our resolution is that we agreed as a committee that we do oversight down the counties. Mr. Speaker, as per we are talking, almost, I don't know the numbers, but almost 10 counties we have visited. These are the 2 weeks recess of, we went to Mandera County, Wajir, and Marsabit. Mr. Speaker, if even we agreed that resolution that instead of doing Senate boardroom in the House, we need 1 month rotation for each counties to do, Mr. Speaker. We need to change our standing order so that instead of sitting in this House with AC making decisions, it's better we go outside to 47 counties for each department, not only health, so that to see what's going on in our counties. Mr. Speaker, we went to Kisumu, Trans Nzoia, West Pokot, Mombasa, Kwale, Taita Taveta. There are many which I cannot remember. Mr. Speaker, I call the bishop to be in order so that because of a constraint of the budget which hold us back, in fact, we wanted to go to, which is in our next weekend, that we wanted to go to Isiolo and Garissa, Mr. Speaker, as we're talking. So that is one of our key features that we wanted to see how health sectors are doing in the county system, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Yeah. Senator Derito John.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am keen with the report of energy because what I listened to Energy Committee telling us, one, I have to say they have done a good job. for the committee to tell us what they are doing so that KPLC cannot be the only people who are giving Kenyans power. We want private sector, other private sectors to move in and help Kenyans so that we can reduce the bills that we are paying, Mr. Speaker. But we have not had that. Well, they have concentrated on other things which they have not done even very well, as Senator Wambua is saying, when they visited some place in Dange, in Makueni, Mr. Speaker. But at least they are trying, because after many years, those after 2015 up to now, at least they're doing something. So it's good, we can commend them. Committee of Health, Mr. Speaker, is disastrous, because every time you have had these doctors that are on strike, county government, there are problems, and we have not had any. I've listened to the report. I thought there will be very serious report to tell us what is the way forward so that we don't have strikes in our counties. Mr. Speaker, I have heard the member of the committee, the vice chair of the committee, Mr. Speaker, telling us we should not be sitting under ACs. We should go to the ground. Mr. Speaker, we have given them the duty as a committee to do that. Nothing is stopping them from doing it. They can go to one county, Mr. Speaker, 2 counties, depending on the budget, Mr. Speaker. And that's why we have reduced the numbers to 9. We don't have the whole Senate because it is impossible, Mr. Speaker. So they should not give us any reason whatsoever, Mr. Speaker, about budget and any stuff. They should go to one county and make that one as a benchmark, Mr. Speaker. We don't need excuses, Mr. Speaker, that this one cannot be.
Senator Ali Roba.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support the reports that were presented by the 3 committees. And in particular, I want to applaud the Committee of Energy because under the circumstances they have done well. There is room for improvement, and that has come out from my colleagues. But the committee that I closely followed, Mr. Speaker, is the Committee of Health. Because recently that committee visited Mandera County, Wajir County, and Marsabit County. And to speak, the truth in terms of what my take was from the engagement they've done in the 3 counties, it was an eye-opener. It has improved the oversight profile of the Senate because this committee was able to engage directly with service provision at the lowest level. And they were able to challenge workers at various hospitals. In Mandera, they visited the referral hospital. They've revisited, small units within the town in terms of service provision. They have also gone to one of the sub-counties, and they were able to engage and health sector within, our counties. I really want to applaud and encourage them to be doing impromptu visits similar to that, because this is the oversight responsibility of the Senate. It's coming out. It is going to enforce and encourage service delivery. And also it's going to motivate, the service providers by the county governments in terms of them understanding that they are not in an environment unwatched, that the Senate of the Republic of Kenya are taking their mandate clearly to make sure that, yes.
That is out of order. Senator Derito.
Mr. Speaker, I have heard my colleague and good senator, Ali Roba, saying that the committee made an impromptu visit. Mr. Speaker, understanding orders, I thought you're supposed to give 7 days notice to any place you are going. I don't think that's impromptu, unless, Mr. Speaker, impromptu has a different meaning.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to thank my colleague for sharing that, but I want to reiterate they've made impromptu visit to smaller units while they're in the county. And to qualify, the invitation they have done and the formal procedures have been followed, but once they're in the county, nothing that stops them to visit the health facilities. And they have done a wonderful job.
Tambo.
Now, Mr. Speaker, under Standing Order 56, the chairs are supposed to report on progress made within the 3 months. The senator for Mandera, who seems to have benefited from a visit by the committee, the committee, Mr. Speaker. So whose report, Mr. Speaker, are we going to believe? The report of the chair or the report of the senator, Mr. Speaker?
Seems to have more details. It is a detailed report or not transparent in Mandera County.
Mr. Speaker, sir, as my colleague has stated, this Senate is alive, and it's alive, our committees are alive, events are happening. These reports were filed on the floor of the Senate. They were only able to be scheduled for reading today. But the events that are unfolding is part of the committee's work. And it is, the onus is upon us to keep tabs with what our committees are doing in our counties, so that we get to understand what is happening. I took it upon myself to get to understand the engagement in Mandera, in Wajir, and in Marsabit. And I've even developed keen interest to find out where they're visiting next. Because this is what is going to improve the profile of the Senate, the oversight responsibility that this Senate has, and it's going to make sure that the Senate is going to be taken very serious, because our oversight should not be limited within only invitations, but first-hand information. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to support. Thank you.
Senator Chalagay Samson.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I want just to make 2 comments. One on the Committee of Health, Mr. Speaker. But I have not spoken.
Mr. Speaker, I wanted to inform Senator Wambua.
Not on the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I can see Senator Wambua is not is doubting the committee, but if you go back to the standing order paper of today morning and last week, you can see the motion of the Senate visit Taita Taveta, Mombasa, Kwale, and another report is West Pokot and Turkana and Trans Nzoia. The report we have tabled it. It's the House to adopt it, Mr. Speaker.
We have no doubt that you are visiting those counties, but you'll be safe with Senator Wambua until you visit Kitui County. And also have a case with you. You have refused to visit Meru County. Senator Chalgay, use your minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. One, Mr. Speaker, you know the essence of devolution is health. I visited Maraba Sub-County Hospital on Saturday. I visited Kapsabet County Referral Hospital, Mosoriat Sub-County Hospital. I visited Chepterway. I visited Chepkongoin Dispensary. I visited Kiropket Dispensary. All those are dysfunctional. There is no drugs. Despite that the county government under Sang administration has allocated over 300 million per year. But there is no drugs in hospital. The poor sanitation, you have seen those photos going viral, Mr. Speaker. Yet the Committee of Health has never found it wise to visit the county of Nandi, Mr. Speaker. We need reports. We need individual reports to be tabled on the House, because, Mr. Speaker, the reason even Senate is under siege or under siege is because health is dysfunctional, Mr. Speaker. The Health Committee must pull up its socks and ensure they give value to this house, Mr. Speaker. We must not be treated to sideshows. And this habit, Mr. Speaker, of instead visiting the dispensaries, they go and visit a governor, courtesy call for what? Where does the governor want to go that must be visited? Is it a school visiting day? Are they visiting governors with lunch boxes, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, we must stop this habit. Whenever we visit Kakamega, let us visit Kakamega County Referral Hospital, Kitui County Referral, and find out Meru. Find out why there are no drugs in hospital, why doctors are demotivated, Mr. Speaker. Don't visit governors to look nice for photos, unless you want to frame for future references of autobiographies, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, secondly, I would have expected them to give us a takeaway on UHC staff that suffered since post-COVID era, Mr. Speaker. We have seen a news flash by the Ministry of Health that UHC staff will be transferred to counties. Our county is ready to observe all the UHC staff. We must be told, even their terms of service. Mr. Speaker, you remember Donald Trump, who the other day generated an AI image of him becoming the next pope or the next pope thief, stopped the money that came through USAID. And the people who are staff under Global Aid Fund don't know their future. We must be told what happens to Global Aid Fund staff, Mr. Speaker. Finally, Mr. Speaker, on the issue of energy, I want to say it's disappointing that Mandera and Northern Kenya, Mr. Speaker, still uses generator. And there is Kenya Power and Lighting, Mr. Speaker. And when they took 3 generators, only one is functional in Mandera, Mr. Speaker. They lied to the people of Mandera, the Northern Kenya. Are they not part of Kenyans, Mr. Speaker? The Committee of Energy led by the youth leader and the face of broad-based government, Senator Oburu Odinga, and I'm happy. The reason I'm relaxed on him, Mr. Speaker, is because he told of Senator Orengo the other day, Governor Orengo, Mr. Speaker. We must
There's a point of order from the Senator for Mandera County.
But I was assisting him by pushing for...
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise on point of order number 105. While I appreciate the statement he has made, which arose from a physical visit that my colleague, Senator Wambua Cherargei, have done in Mandera and the challenges he's sharing on energy. But can the Honorable Senator substantiate for a fact that if a committee visits a given county and does a courtesy call on the governor, that the committee's function and responsibility within that county will be impaired by that visit? Can he substantiate? Because we have visited several counties, we've done courtesy call, but we've ended up doing our mandates as required by the law. Can he then substantiate? Does it render our effective roles as senators when we visit and do courtesy call? This is just basically a statement of respect that we are here and that issue. If that is wrong, I would like him to substantiate to what extent that invalidates the visit or the functional responsibility that the various committees will undertake. Thank you.
Senator Chalage.
You know, Mr. Speaker, I was making a very pregnant point. I can allow Senator Wambua to inform me. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I just want to inform us, Senator Chalage, so that he doesn't belabor responding to that issue. Yes. But Speaker, the point of contention is that when a committee visits a governor, and then yes, when they visit me as governor, then I want a situation where my visit does not look like, a visit to my office does not look like it's the central theme of the committee being in the county. That's exactly what we are saying. That is the Speaker. Even the photos that are circulated on the walls of the committees and the individual members, a lot more of those photos are for the visit to the governor and not the facilities. And we are saying, the Speaker, especially for the Committee on Health, there are so many dysfunctional health facilities in every county that a minute spent with the governor is a waste of precious time. That's what we are saying, Mr. Speaker. I thank you.
Conclude your comments.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much, because even sometimes when you go to visit a governor, people end up taking a lot of time, even 1 hour that should have used to visit some of the facilities. And you know, one funny thing after the event, you see some colleagues of ours, with all due respect, putting a caption, the governor has promised to improve. Yet they have facilities, Mr. So, Mr. Speaker, finally on the Committee of Energy, please, let's Mandera and Northern Kenya access Kenya Power to the national grid. It is unfortunate that Mandera has only one functional generator that goes off because of the heat after every time, Mr. Speaker. That it is very unfortunate, and Kenya Power must be called out that Kenyans in Mandera, as the Kenyans have equal chance like Kenyans in Nairobi, in the spirit of broad-based, where we want to bring equity, equality, fairness and transparency, even in terms of energy distribution in this country, Mr. Speaker. So I want to commend the committee led by Senator Oburu Odinga, who is our face of broad-based and one of the youth leaders of this country, and the architect, Mr. Speaker, and I want to congratulate him for telling off Governor Orengo. I saw Senator Sifuna saying something today about broad-based. If he wants to, he should be careful, because Senator Oburu, when he speaks, it's Raila Odinga who speaks. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I support all those statements.
Senator Gloria Oromo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This afternoon, I rise to add my voice to the various statements, the Energy Committee statement and the Finance Committee statement. Mr. Speaker, first of all, before I go into any issue, I want to remind Kenyans and the members of this House that the Senate does a lot of work. We do a lot of thorough investigations, inquiries, we put together reports. We submit the reports at the floor of the House, we debate the reports, and then we adopt the reports, or the reports are tabled and taken in as work output, Mr. Speaker. I want to remind the members of this House that we have certain issues that we have deliberated on and placed reports. We had the Shakahola issue, Mr. Speaker, very controversial. We went down to the grassroots, did investigations, the committee tabled a report, we adopted with recommendations, the report is there. The Energy Committee that I've seen, they have given a summary of their work, also dealt with the explosion in Muradi, where lives were lost, Mr. Speaker. They've given the recommendations, they've tabled the report is there. You remember the issue of Governor Natembeya and his deputy. That was at that time a very serious issue for the people of Trans Nzoia County. Mr. Speaker, the report is here, tabled. We had members of this House going to the US, Mr. Speaker, to follow on the victims of the bomb blast, Mr. Speaker. We even had budgets. Members went to the US, spoke to victims, spoke to who, did what was meant to be done. Recommendations were put, the report was tabled, Mr. Speaker. Nobody is asking why nothing is being done after tabling the reports. So, Mr. Speaker, even as we are interrogating all these reports by the Finance Committee and the Energy Committee and all other committees, Mr. Speaker, the question then becomes, is our work here in Senate, the upper house, to just table reports? Mr. Speaker, we have continuously asked that we be given a committee to follow up on the implementation of all the reports that we have in this House, Mr. Speaker, so that we can even know whether the victims of the Muradi explosion, which the Energy Committee has told us is here, whether they were actually taken care of, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it saddens me as a member of this House that all our work is going to be filed in the basis or in the form of a report, and the legacy of this House is just reports that are being tabled, Mr. Speaker. My question to this House and to the members of this House is, will we continue to sit and table reports, Mr. Speaker? Or are we actually going to push that we become part of the implementation of these reports? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Boni Kalwala.
Mr. Speaker, I'm lost for words. I'm speaking on the contributions made in respect of the report on health. I don't know what is biting the former governor of Mandera, and I don't know what is biting the current senator of Nandi. What's wrong with a committee going into a county and having a sitting with the governor and actually affording him an opportunity to field questions that will enrich their report? It is not the responsibility of the committee to babysit any governor. They should go and ask him hard questions, like what is obtaining in Nandi. It would be gross failure if the Committee of Health will go to Nandi and fail to go and interview the governor. Mr. Speaker, it is so serious that in Kakamega, as we speak now, doctors are on strike. Mr. Speaker, it is so serious that in Kakamega, the governor is, through his chief officer, Dr. David Alira. They are trying to teach doctors corruption. When this committee goes there, it is time for them not only to talk to the governor about these issues that I'm about to raise, but also afford me an invitation so that I sit through the meeting. Mr. Speaker, people of Kakamega are wondering how interest is paid to medical facilities in excess of the requisition made by that superintendent of the hospital. And then upon receipt, the medical superintendent, Mr. Speaker, is rung by Alila, who then asks for the excess on the authority to incur expense to be taken back to him. Butere Hospital, Malaba Hospital, Igo Hospital. At Butere and Malaba, the doctors were asked to remit a refund of 10 millions in each of those two hospitals. In Ikuhu, 6 million. Mr. Speaker, the bankings were done. The transfer of the money to Dr. Alila, Mr. Speaker, was done on the 20th of October 2024 in the afternoon. These are things we know. We want the committee to scare these governors so that they don't teach my medical professionals even an ounce of corruption, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Senator Veronica Duarte.
After me. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, especially for distinguishing who should speak first between me and my neighbor. Honorable Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Senator Kisang will wait and abide until I finalize. I want to support the report and the statements that have been presented to this House this afternoon. And I want to single out the very elaborate report that has been presented by our chairperson of Energy Committee, a committee that I am a member of, the Senate Standing Committee on Energy. Honorable Speaker, I want to single out the issues that have been raised here, especially the issue of the LPG explosion that occurred in the Mradi area, where we see victims, 11 lives were lost, and at least 280 people were involved, and many people were injured during these incidents. Honorable Speaker, in spite of the fact that I sit in this committee, I want to say that in many jurisdictions, such explosions will be taken as very serious accident incidents, where the policy framework enables people who have suffered from such incidences to be compensated very quickly and very adequately, not because it's the tidiest position for any country to be in, but because it is only the right thing to do, and because, Honorable Speaker, any stakeholders who are working within this sector, the policy framework would ensure that any actors in this sector are adequately insured, the insurance is responsive, and we want to call out, Honorable Speaker, the insurance companies that are covering such incidences, and even covering companies that are dealing, or institutions that are dealing with oils, Honorable Speaker, gas, oil and gas field, Honorable Speaker. It is high time in this nation, Honorable Speaker, that we have a foolproof policy. And I want to remember an incident that occurred about 2 decades ago in Mombasa with Kenya Petroleum Refinery, which was then insured by companies which were abroad. Honorable Speaker, those insurance companies came to Kenya and they were actively hunting for every victim and every family that had suffered a loss. and they were hunting for them to ensure compensation was adequately done, not undercalculated, but that the victims and their families would feel the burden is a bit eased off, Honorable Speaker. And I would say, Honorable Speaker, since 2015, the Dhangwa village, Dhangwa ward, Makueni County has suffered a spillage, an oil spill, which has caused many cases of diabetes, liver, and kidney disease among the rest.
Let me give you 1 minute.
It is unfortunate that the impact of this spillage has gone to a point where residents of Makueni will most likely lose their lives because of the social environmental impact that spillage has done. And my question is, what is Kenya Maritime Authority doing? Because I know they do have very firm policies on how to deal with spillage. What has been done, Honorable Speaker, because the pictures we even saw from the members who visited there, the oil spill is still there. We have a policy that has a dispersant effect of that oil film, which should have been done by now. But since 2015, reports are not good enough without action being undertaken by the relevant institutions. So we call upon KMA to take adequate measures to inform the public what they have done, and if they have not done anything to disperse that fume of oil, people will continue suffering from the rising cases of diabetes, liver, and kidney diseases. And urgent action needs to be done, and that action reported to Senate to see that we do not just visit a place and the implementation mechanism becomes too weak for even the residents to take advantage of legislators having made a visit to that area.
Senator Kisang.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to make comments on two statements, and then you'll allow me, Speaker, to read my statement.
No, then you can have Senator Sige can take
Let
his
me
minutes,
then let me read fast. Let me read so that they can make comment on the same. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare on a matter of national concern, namely the implementation of the Interagency Technical Committee report of 2019, which proposes the reduction of hardship allowances, allocation from 25 billion to 19 billion, and the reclassification of hardship zones across the country. Honorable Speaker, sir, the implementation of this report stands to affect thousands of civil servants serving in areas previously recognized as hardship zones, including Elgeyo-Marakwet County, which is proposed for removal from classification as a hardship area despite security challenges that have hampered effective service delivery in that region, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, in the statement, the committee should address the following. One, the rationale behind the proposed reduction in hardship allowances from 25 billion to 19 billion and the justification for the reclassification of hardship zones. Two, Honorable Speaker, the criteria used in designating hardship areas, including the specific indicators or benchmarks used to determine whether a region qualifies as an hardship zone. Three, the reasons for the proposed removal of certain regions, including Elgeyo-Marakwet County, from the list of hardship areas, despite persistent challenges such as insecurity and geographical inaccessibility that continue to affect civil service delivery, Honorable Speaker. Four, and the last one, the intended use of the 6 billion projected to be saved through the reduction in hardship allowances, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Speaker, for this. So I don't know you. I continue to
proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, in fact, I want to start from this one that I've just read, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, recently there was some reclassification of areas that was released.
Not comment on.
Oh, thank you. Then that's okay, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I wanted to comment on the one by Finance Committee and Energy Committee, Honorable Speaker. On the Finance Committee, I want to thank the committee, Honorable Speaker, and especially on this, the new formula, the fourth session of the formula, Honorable Speaker, on the shareable revenue. Honorable Speaker, there are about 10 counties that are getting less than 6 billion, and I've said many times in this House, Honorable Speaker, if we don't do an affirmative action, some counties in the near future, Honorable Speaker, will be like at the state of Kenya now, and others will be like Singapore, Honorable Speaker, because most counties, these 10 counties, are just basically paying salaries and recurrent. They are not doing any development because the resources they are getting are below what they can help them to undertake any meaningful development, Honorable Speaker. That's what I was saying. As we discuss from tomorrow, this new formula, Honorable Speaker, it is important that we set and say at least each county should get first 6 billion, and then from there, anything above 6 billion, then we can subject the formula, Honorable Speaker, so that some counties like Elgeyo Marakwet County, Tharaka-Nithi, Isiolo, Lamu, even Taita Taveta, they can have some meaningful development, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on the energy, I'm the vice chair of energy, Honorable Speaker, and we have talked about 7 or so counties that are not on the national grid. We have Wajir, we have Mandera, we have Karisa, we have part of Isiolo, majorly Isiolo, Marsabit, even Turkana, Honorable Speaker. And this is because these are areas that were neglected by past governments, Honorable Speaker, and what we need to do as a country. There's nothing that the committee can do as of now.
Just a minute, Senator Kisang. Senator Boni Karwale.
And all to my time,
bear with me, Senator. I rise under the Constitution of Kenya, Article 202 and Article 203. Mr. Speaker, the distinguished senator from Elgeyo Marakwet is saying that this House should adopt a formula where an equal amount of between 5 to 6 billion is given to each county. Mr. Speaker, is he in order? Given that the letter and spirit of the Constitution does not speak to equality, it speaks to equity. How does he want that kind of provision to sit with Articles 202 and 203, which says that shareable revenue will be shared equitably?
I think that is not what he meant, but Senator Kisang can clarify.
The distinguished doctor and the full fighter, Honorable Speaker, is, I believe, he's slightly older than me. I don't know, maybe he didn't get me very well because, Honorable Speaker, I said, as we discussed the new formula, each county is given first minimum of 6 billion so that they can undertake the pay minimum, they can do pay salaries. Kakamega County basically have 10 CCs, Elgeyo Marakwet County 10 CCs, maybe 12 chief officers. We have similar almost nurses, the same county referral hospitals. But Honorable Speaker, I'm saying each county to be given minimum 6 billion, and then all the resources above, because we say for the 7 times 6 billion, it's about 200 and something billion. The resources, the money above 200 billion, then we share equitable now, which means a county like even Elgeyo Marakwet County might just get around 500 million. So we get 6.5. Kakamega can get additional 4 billion. They'll get 10. So I didn't say equal. I said we share the first, say 20% or 30% for each county, and then anything above 30%, then we share equitable, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on energy, Honorable Speaker, I was saying, I know there has been, these 7 counties were marginalized, especially in terms of supply of power. So what we need as a country is to have a conversation. How do we deliver the power to these particular marginalized counties? And we cannot do it using the resources that we have because we don't have enough resources. That is why we are saying we need to embrace BBP, If we go to BIP, then we do basically international expression of interest, because PIPs, we have seen it breeds corruption. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, last but not the least, Senator Wakirilali.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I also want to make comments on two of the statements, and one of which, Mr. Speaker, is the statement and the report by the Health Committee. Mr. Speaker, it's a matter of public notoriety that almost across all the counties in this republic, the health sector is in shambles. It is something that we can no longer take it for granted whenever such reports like what has been tabled by the Health Committee as regards the visits. The report about Mandera, Marsabit, and Wajir is just an example of what happens across all the counties. Whether it is about expired drugs, that cuts across almost all the counties. Inefficiencies in terms of the work and service delivery to the people. In terms of infrastructure, a complete failure on the part of the county governments to manage this aspect. It was never the intention, Mr. Speaker, of devolution to kill the health sector. When the national government is seeking to reform the SHA and from NHIF, it is aimed at ensuring that service delivery, especially in the health sector, reaches the lowest representations in the society, and that is at the county level. It is expected and was expected that the devolved governments will manage their facilities in such a manner that service delivery in this particular aspect of health is efficient and serves the people. It is very unfortunate, Mr. Speaker, to read the kind of stories that the committee has experienced in their visits. I would have no issue with the Health Committee having a session with the county governor, sitting down and asking those questions. The unfortunate thing is the situation where the committee, instead of having a very objective engagement with the governor so that they get clarifications on areas of concern, the situation degenerates to what the Honorable Senator from Nandi was saying. It's a photo session. It serves no purpose to go and have a session with the governor when you are unable to inquire and get clarifications on the concerns. Mr. Speaker, the situation cutting across the counties is dire. We appreciate the prompt visits that are done. We appreciate the visits by the committee. Back in the county of Bomet, where I represent, we have almost in all the dispensaries, leave alone the referral hospital that is reported in the papers that it's one of the hospitals that stocks expired drugs. The most unfortunate thing, Mr. Speaker, is a posting on every other social an impromptu visit by part of my office today in the morning in one dispensary called Soimete Dispensary. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, have an experience that they have not been stocked for the last couple of months. In fact, they don't even have Panadol, one of the basic painkiller that is supposed to be available in every hospital. What service they only deliver to the people is immunization, which is not the core. It is not every day that we have children who are being immunized.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. The situation as reported by the Health Committee, Mr. Speaker, is one of those which as a House we must find a means of extending the proposed implementation mechanism so that we put these governors to order and we make sure that they serve our people. We fight every day here to enhance the monies that we take to the counties, and they do. Governor Barchoki in Bomet has a budget of over 2 billion in health, and most of the facilities have got no drugs, have got insufficient infrastructure, have got basically zero service to the people. And so we appreciate the committee and we encourage such additional committees to visit as part of our oversight roles. And it's got nothing to do with politics. It's part of the mandate of this House. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, a comment on the reclassification of hardship areas. The report that we got in terms of in terms of Senator, I allow me to conclude the areas of.
Senator Sigei, do you want to be informed? Because your time was over.
Mr. Speaker, I wanted to inform Senator Cherogei and Senator Wakile, both, and the House. Mr. Speaker, as a health committee, when we went to visit county, after the visit to the facilities.
Just wait, she is informing.
Mr. Speaker, I'm saying that because it originated from him. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm informing now? Senator Wakili Segei. Mr. Speaker, as I said, as Vice Chair of Health, we went to the committee oversight the counties, almost 14 counties, Mr. Speaker. When we do our rotation of each facilities, the health facilities, we normally go to the governor to inform him to what we have encountered him, Mr. Speaker, what we have encountered in the facilities. There are some issues which can be immediately be solved. Because like Marsabit County, there are some information which the governor, immediately solve it, Mr. Speaker. That's why we normally go to the governor to brief him what we have encountered in health facilities, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Do you do the courtesy call before the visit or after? Yes, proceed, Senator Sige.
Give me the mic. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Conclude
I appreciate
within 1 minute.
the information by the Vice Chairperson of Health Committee, and would wish to encourage them that even prior to making whatever courtesy call or a visit to inform the governor, the impromptu visits in most cases will facilitate the actual experience that you would get, rather than the visit that you would have a session and they will direct you to places where they have pre-programmed on what experience you will get when you visit the facility. But otherwise, I want to encourage the Health Committee to continue doing the visits to the counties. Mr. Speaker, I was commenting on the hardship reduction of the hardship funding as well as reclassification of hardship areas. This, Mr. Speaker, particularly with the report that came and from the statement of Senator Kisang, has disadvantaged very key and critical areas that have previously benefited from the hardship classification procedure that was in existence before. I would like Senator Kisang to pursue a situation where if the policy that led to that classification being pushed and published now, and I know it reclassifies and denies other institutions and areas opportunities to benefit, we have a right to participate in ensuring that areas that previously benefited has created some legitimate expectation from workers and civil servants working there and also the residents. And such areas should not be denied that benefit, even if there is need for a reclassification process. In fact, it should be enhanced rather than it being reduced, so that we don't have areas that previously benefited losing their benefit out of this new policy. Mr. Speaker, I thank you and I rest.
Thank you, Honorable Senators. We now go back to the business of the day. We proceeded up to order number 10. Therefore, order number 11, we defer order number 11, 12, and 13. So, clerk, call out the next order.
Order number 14, the Sports Amendment number 2 Bill, Senate Bills number 45 of 2024, second reading, resumption of debate.
On this particular order, There is a bill. Senator Chalgay, you are seconding, and you have 11 minutes, balance of 11 minutes.
So, Speaker, as I proceed to second this bill on establishment of sports academies on various, Mr. Speaker, in our counties. Mr. Speaker, you know we are struggling with the restless and energetic young people who want to exploit and explore their talent. And the only way to enhance the functionality, the issues of talent in our counties, Mr. Speaker, is establishing of sports academies. Mr. Speaker, yesterday evening, I was a bit disappointed after FC Barcelona lost against Inter Milan yesterday by aggregate of 6-7 goals. And I was excited by one of the prolific players called Yamal Lamine, whose roots are from Morocco and Equatorial Guinea, because the mother comes from Equatorial Guinea and the father comes from Morocco. Yamal Lamine performed extremely well yesterday, and to my own opinion, he was the man of the match. And he's only 17 years old. I went and looked at the background of this prolific master, grandmaster of the game, football, yesterday, Mr. Speaker, and I found out that Yamal Lamine studied in a sports academy called La Masia, which the most expensive sports academy in Europe that uses £5 million to run it. And then I went back and I realized that academy has produced one of the best players of all times, the Goat, greatest of all time, Mr. Speaker, called Lionel Messi. Although so far Yamal Lamine has outpaced pace in terms of performance, at that age of 17 years, yesterday he did it, and I would have wished to see him in UEFA finals. And I hope today the Arsenal will not disappoint me when they play with PSG in the evening from 10 p.m. Kenyan time. And most of those players that you see playing on the field, especially for people who are football lovers like me, most of them have gone to academies, sports academies. It is sad, for example, Nandi is declared as the source of sports, source of champions, yet we don't have a functional sports academy or even a stadium. Yet most of the performance, even in North Rift, Cameroon Stadium, talk about stadium in Eldoret, talk about Kipchoge Keino Stadium. In fact, the worst that Governor Sang has done is to relocate Kipchoge Stadium into some forest. Yet it is the landmark, it is the history and the heritage of athleticism in that region. For example, in North Rift, Mr. Speaker, including Meru and Kisii, we should be having sports academy. I saw one in high altitude called Chakayati in Uasin Gishu County, which is ongoing the construction, Mr. Speaker. We need to have sports academy. Most of the young people, Mr. Speaker, in Nandi depend on sports, especially athletics, and valuable, Mr. Speaker. So we should, in fact, Boni was still here, Kakamega County, they have the best footballers, Vihiga. In fact, we don't need a law to direct counties or to legislate for counties to get opportunity. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, looking at this performance of even the, we like watching European football. You know, the other day, Gor Mahia and Shabana, there was chaos in Gusii Stadium, Mr. Speaker. There is a lot of huge potential. Mr. Speaker, it is sad that most of the potential we see in Kenya Secondary Schools Association sports disappear after Form 4, Mr. Speaker. We need to tap that. Even in sports, even in festivals, music festivals, where do the children who are at the top will go after Form 4? Where do the greatest footballers, we thank the one called Kibet, that was lucky to join Spanish Academy, and a number, I think 3 after the sports event in Kakamega of secondary schools. Where do our young people go? Mr. Speaker, when you see most of the senators seated here, some of them were greatest footballers during their time. Some of them were great athletes. But because they didn't have an opportunity to be professional athletes or sportsmen and women, they ended up in Senate. Mr. Speaker, some of these people, their calling is totally different. They are working with another calling, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, the establishment of sports academies should and must be looked at and ensure counties do these things. Mr. Speaker, sports is a concurrent function. I want to thank His Excellency the President. As I was driving through Ngong Road, you can see Talanta City Stadium is taking shape. And it is what we have seen Kasarani coming up. Mr. Speaker, and the President has committed that at least every county. I am happy Kinoru Stadium in Meru is doing very well, but it needs upgrading, Mr. Speaker, to receive international standards in Kinoru Stadium, Mr. Speaker. We have one in Nyeri. We want to keep Kibrogod Stadium in Kericho, Mr. Speaker, so that our young men and women, the energy that we see in social media, that young people are using, most of the young people are using in social media, Mr. Speaker, to write unpalatable things online. They can use the same energy to go and play football, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, we must agree that as counties, it is unfortunate that my county, when it was being decided it should be source of champions, but Governor Sang has done it into source of corruption because of lack of even sporting facilities, Mr. Speaker. Even converting a whole facility into a marketplace. Yet Nandi is synonymous with sports in terms of sports, Mr. Speaker. And this, Mr. Speaker, even the issue of doping and menace that is affecting our young people. We must agree, I want to appeal, because Kenya might be on the red on issues of doping. I want to appeal, Mr. Speaker, to our sportsmen and women and anti-doping agency, ADAC, to be on the lookout and ensure we arrest the issue of doping menace in our country. Even as we establish these sports academies, we must vet the trainers, the coaches, Mr. Speaker. The coaches. Today, Mr. Speaker, in the morning, and I want to take this opportunity to congratulate Deacon Mike Songkok and a number of deacons and seminarians who are graduating at St. Thomas of Aquinas Seminary in Karen, that was presided over by His Grace Lord Bishop Obala Owa, the Bishop of Ngong Diocese. And he was talking about the formation. You have to agree that the Catholic Church has a unique way of doing formation of their priests, their sisters, their brothers in the brotherhood, Mr. Speaker. And he was talking about the vetting of the formators. They are called the trainers. So they must be people who are beyond reproach. There are people who are teaching the doctrine of the church. For example, he was using the Catholic Church, Mr. Speaker, that was being presided today by Bishop Owa of Ngong Diocese, Mr. Speaker. The same thing with the vetting of our sports academies. Mr. Speaker, are you aware some people working through tourist visa, through JKI, 2 weeks later, they are training at least in Iten. In Iten. Mr. Speaker, which country are we? In fact, Tanzania today, if you walk to Tanzania and you don't have a visa, you will never finish 2 hours before being deported. But Kenya, somebody lands in JKI as a tourist, he goes to Iten, he goes to Nandils, he goes to Kaptagat and start training. And at the end of the day, making sure that they promote doping, Mr. Speaker. Even here in Nakuru, somewhere in Keringet, the training high altitude areas, Mr. Speaker. It is very unfortunate. The government and the anti-doping agents must come out strongly, Mr. Speaker, and ensure. Mr. Speaker, secondly, and therefore, I want to agree with, and I'm happy Senator Kisang is in the House, because I know he suffers most, especially with trainers that are not appropriately trained and fitted, Mr. Speaker. Even on the issue of hardship allowance, Mr. Speaker, I don't allow hardship allowance to be removed. Even in Nandi, we want places like Terik Ward, like Kapchorwa, like Soba Songo, Mr. Speaker, to be put, and even Chepterwa as part of the hardship allowances for teachers and civil servants. Even in Bomet, areas like Chepalungu, Mr. Speaker, where you come from, they must be given hardship allowance. That comment was made in bad faith by the CS of Education. He must retract, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, finally, as I finish to second, I saw the Deputy Minority Whip today in the House saying that there is no broad-based government. We have a broad-based government. This broad-based government has brought equity and equality in terms of service provision under President William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga, Mr. Speaker. And it is unfortunate that Senator Sifuna can use the floor of the House, yet he was the Secretary General of ODM that we went and signed in the KICC, Mr. Speaker, and signed broad-based government, Mr. Speaker. If he has a problem with CSOPO and I, if he has a problem with John Mbadi, those are political differences that they should do in funerals and rallies during the weekend. He should not, and he should respect the president, Mr. Speaker. And you saw Senator Oburu Odinga spoke eloquently and powerfully before President Ruto in Migori and said that The ODM and UDA are working through broad-based arrangement, including establishing of sports academies in our counties, Mr. Speaker, where the audacity of lecturing and saying there is no broad-based government, Mr. Speaker. If he wants to leave ODM, Mr. Speaker, and if you want to know what Raila thinks, listen to Senator Oburu. If you want to read the body language of Raila Odinga, listen to John Bad, Mr. Speaker. It is very critical, Mr. Speaker. I'm making a very pregnant point. Can you add me 1 minute so that I can conclude by seconding, Mr. Speaker? So if you can see at those body languages of Oburu, of Mbadi, of Junaid Mohammed, if you see Junaid Mohammed speaking, no Raila is speaking. I'm warning Senator Sifuna to tread very carefully. His future in ODM looks bleak. Mr. Speaker, with those many remarks, I beg to second.
Now, Honorable Senators, I now propose the question that the Sports Amendment number 2, Bill, Senate Bills number 45 of 2024 be now read a second time. I will allow Senator Kisang to, yes, Senator Kisang to contribute.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the Sports Amendment Bill that is before the House, Honorable Speaker, to set up sports academies in our counties. Honorable Speaker, if you scan across the country, the only sport that is still booming or basically doing well in the country is athletics. And the reason why athletics is doing well, Honorable Speaker, it is because it is individual based. It is up to the athlete to train maybe with the team managers and coaches, and they work out on their own. But if you check the other sports, Honorable Speaker, you check tennis, cricket, football, you know we are doing badly, Honorable Speaker, because of mismanagement by either the sports, I don't know if it is the sports ministry also, and also those who are basically elected to steer and drive this particular sports, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, with the proposal to set up sports academies in our counties, our constituencies, Honorable Speaker, it will basically promote and enhance and professionalize and nurture talent at an early age for our youth, Honorable Speaker, because we have a big problem of unemployment. And sports is one of the areas where talent can be nurtured, and our youth and sports women and men can't make money and get resources to build themselves, Honorable Speaker. I remember, Honorable Speaker, when we were in primary schools, even high school, schools like St. Patrick's High School 10, they used to have a particular teacher who was in charge of sports. Like for St. Patrick 10, we had Brother Colm, who used to go around second time when they had athletics across the country to spot talent and pick boys who are doing well, and they'll be admitted to St. Patrick's 10 and pursue the line. Same also with other schools, Honorable Speaker. And we need to go back. We need to go back. Sport talent early. We take these youths to a sports academy so that we can have Kenyans playing professionally, both internationally and locally, Honorable Speaker. We have the likes of Yego, the guy who was playing javelin, Honorable Speaker. So it is because we don't have sports academies, and we are losing. We are losing a lot of talent because we don't have a program on how to sport, how to nurture, so that this can progress. Honorable Speaker, I support this bill, and we want to urge our governors, because sports is devolved. They need to partner with the Ministry of Sports and set up sports academies across the country, Honorable Speaker. They have the resources. In fact, we want to encourage also our members of National Assembly, because in the national government CDF, which basically we are now doing public participation to ensure that we entrench it in the Constitution, there is a percentage, 2% of CDF is dedicated to sports. Maybe we need to enhance it to maybe 5% so that they can partner with the governors to build up sports grounds, and the governors partner with national government to ensure we have stadiums. We have stadiums across the country. It's unfortunately that I know Kipchoge Stadium has been, it was supposed to be rebuilt, modern, to have a modern stadium, to have even a gymnasium, and have even a sports academy attached to it. Same with Kamarenyo, Honorable Speaker. Luckily the other day, there are tenders that went out, and I hope the contractors who are coming will be put in place, will do a good job, so that our athletes can have somewhere to train. Honorable Speaker, there is something that Senator Jerargei brought it up, Honorable Speaker. As a country, there are many foreigners who are training in our high altitude grounds, especially in Iten. There are those who are training in Kapsabet, others are training across the country, Nakuru, Nanyuki, and some of them are coming to the country without proper paperwork. Some come as tourists, they train, but basically training is not tourism. So we need to put in also mechanisms in place so that the counties and the country can get revenue while these athletes are coming to train in our country. And some of them have even come and trained, and they have somehow, when they go to compete internationally, they have beaten our athletes, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it is important that when the country is planning on issues, they need to be careful. We should not rush some things, Honorable Speaker. In fact, I was very surprised. If you go to that region, the North Rift region, you go to Turkana County, Honorable Speaker, West Pokot, you go to Elgeyo Marakwet County, some areas, they have talked about your area in Chabalungu. I don't know where does the executive, especially the CSs, come up with just some funny policies in the morning and say, from tomorrow, we are not doing this. So they need to know that the country is in a different era. We have a new constitution where public participation is paramount. As we do even these sports academies, we want to urge the ministry that is responsible and the counties to do proper public participation so that the people are involved. The people make a decision where the sports academies are located in the counties. For Elgeyo Marakwet County, basically we've had small holiday academies in Capture of Girls, Moi Capture of Girls in the Sengwer ward of Elgeyo Marakwet County. We have some in Iten. So basically, we want to ask the ministry and the counties that they sit down, do public participation, so that we identify areas where these sports academies can be put, and we nurture talent. Let our youth make money. Honorable Speaker, even as they do this, we also want to send a warning, especially to those who are responsible for especially this particular reclassification of areas from hardship to non-hardship. They say moderate hardship and then severe hardship. Elgeyo Marakwet County has been affected severely by insecurity. There is a lot of drought. We have 3 regions. We have an hanging valley in Elgeyo Marakwet County where there are no roads. And how do these particular people expect that civil servants and teachers, even our nurses, will not benefit from hardship allowance because of because I don't know how they arrived to say that Elgeyo Marakwet County does not deserve to be an hardship area or region. Was there any public participation? There was none. So basically, we want to give a warning that as leaders from regions that they want to remove from hardship, that we are watching you. You need to rethink what you've done and basically rescind your decisions, because we don't want our people to go back to the streets. The payslips are already suffering. We have housing levy deductions. We have share deductions. We have NSSF deductions. And then you want to remove hardship allowance? For God's sake, I don't think the people will accept this. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I support the sports amendment bill.
Thank you, Senator Kisang. I'll call upon Senator Mungatana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this bill, the Sports Amendment Bill number 2 of 2024, it seeks to amend the main Sports Act by inserting an amendment after Section 38, which basically, Mr. Speaker, seeks to make it mandatory that each county shall establish a sports academy. Mr. Speaker, I have the one single fortune of having a daughter who is studying right now in Madrid, Spain, in one of the universities that is sponsored by one of the big football clubs in the world. And they have not just a sports academy, not just a football academy, but they also have a university that is dedicated towards sporting activity. So, Mr. Speaker, I have a little bit of experience of how a sports academy should look like. Mr. Speaker, this law has come at a good time in this country. And Mr. Speaker, it has come at a good time in this country because many of our youths, Mr. Speaker, have not been supported in their talents. Those who have musical talents have gone on into the digital space and they have been able to make a living out of it. But Mr. Speaker, those with football talent, running talent, Mr. Speaker, it has been very difficult. Volleyball talent, swimming talent, it has been very difficult unless you come from a privileged family. It is impossible for you to make it. I remember, Mr. Speaker, when I had an office practicing as a lawyer somewhere in up the road in Kikuyu, a branch of my legal office. I remember one young man coming to see me, and he told me, I have a talent for running, but I don't have anybody to stand for me. And you know how we got to know each other? He was washing my car, and I saw something different about him. So when I was engaging him, he told me, I'll come to see you in your office so that I can explain to you my predicament and why I wash cars. I wash cars because I'm trying to raise money so that I can go out and run in a paid race. So as I'm washing these cars, I'm also trying to get good food for eating so that I'm able to eat the way it is required. I'm hardly able to pay my coach, and I ran away from the first person who sponsored me because it was exploitative. He made me sign a contract that when I go to run and I become number 2, he takes almost everything because I didn't know when I started running about anything about the sports business. So I lost and I didn't make money. So I terminated that contract, and now I'm trying to freelance and looking for people to support. I did what I could with that young man. But Mr. Speaker, first of all, let us state that when this law becomes, when this bill becomes law, we are now going to have sports academies, not football academies. A lot of people in Kenya confuse sports with football or with athletics. No, it's not running and footballing alone. Sports academy means a place where all the talents and in various sporting activities will be congregating and training. And Mr. Speaker, this law will be saying that counties will have to establish at least one sports academy. And Mr. Speaker, the law inserts in the Sports Act the requirement that the counties must set up a county academy management committee for sports. And Mr. Speaker, for the first time, when this law takes effect, we will see, even in a place like Tana River County, a center where people with talent, people who can run, people who can swim, people who can play volleyball, people who can do archery, and other talents will be gathered at the cost of the county, so that the sports and the talents that are in that county, Mr. Speaker, are exploited. Mr. Speaker, the talents that exist amongst our youth are able to be developed. Mr. Speaker, I have just given an example of that young man who was, running, and he wanted a sponsor who would help him to be able to go outside the country and make a living. I tried to help him, but you see, Mr. Speaker, when help is not institutionalized, then it's a one-off, and it is not sustainable in that manner. Mr. Speaker, this bill provides an opportunity where people or young men and women who have talent are able to be given opportunities, Mr. Speaker, to grow their talent and make a living out of those talents. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that when these sports academies are being set up across the counties, as is proposed in this bill, it is not just the young people who are running, the young people who are talented in football, volleyball, netball, basketball, and so on, who will benefit. Mr. Speaker, the economy of sports is a very big economy, very big economy. Mr. Speaker, when you look at the provisions of this act, it says there will be, as an objective of the academy in the county, the need to collaborate with the academy in talent development within that county. Mr. Speaker, I have come to discover that those talented people, they don't just need the coach who takes them early morning run and tells them you have to go to the boardroom to read the tactics of what happens in the field, and tells them you have to be in the field and shoot this amount of baskets. You have to keep on practicing until there is a muscle retention of memory through practice. Not just that, coach, Mr. Speaker. The economy of sports, Mr. Speaker, is very wide. There are psychologists in sports, people who actually study the psychology of sports, and they are there to talk to athletes. Mr. Speaker, it will provide employment opportunities to those people who are specializing in those areas. It would open our economy to those capacities so that they can be built within this Republic of Kenya and maybe exported to other places. Mr. Speaker, some of these sporting talents, the talented young men and women, they get injured, very injured, not just in the field physically. Some of them are injured emotionally. Some of them suffer the normal problems we all suffer. And Mr. Speaker, societal problems affect them and affect peak performance. So when a sports psychologist is sitting with you and helps you to recover, you may have gone through grief, you may have lost a very important game that has made you feel so low, so you are nursing depression. And this sports psychologist is telling you, my friend, you can recover. You can recover your form. You still have many football years to play. You still have many days in your basketball. You still have a lot of running days. They have all this technology, Mr. Speaker, that they use on these sports people, and they help them to perform to their peak. Mr. Speaker, sports psychologists will have opportunities in 47 counties, and they will be able to train these people. Even those who are not necessarily having any problems, there are those, Mr. Speaker, who, for one reason or another, their performance has dipped. And this we experience everywhere, even in our academics. When we were growing up, sometimes things happen. For whatever reason, you are not able to hit your number 1 or number 2 or number 3 as is your usual. You sit with someone who talks to you, who understands you. And Mr. Speaker, what am I saying? I'm saying these academies in 47 counties will create a whole new capacity in the sports economy in this Republic of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, there are physiotherapists. And as I'm speaking now, Mr. Speaker, I'm speaking as the chair of the Bunge Sports, of the Senate Sports Committee. And Mr. Speaker, the Senate Sports Club, we have a lot of members here who participated in the games. And many of them, some of them, suffered injuries. In fact, I know of a friend, member of National Assembly, who has since December last year still has undergone at least 4 surgeries on his knee for purposes of recovering from the injury he suffered in football. Mr. Speaker, physiotherapists, sports therapists, people who know about how to deal with sports injuries, Mr. Speaker, this is an area 47 counties will open up so that the sports economy in this country will start to develop at a tremendous age. And Mr. Speaker, this will give us a huge edge because there is no such law within our neighboring countries. And Mr. Speaker, when you look at what this will do, it will create huge opportunities, Mr. Speaker, for all these people who are associated with sports, the people who are training these people, the people who are treating them, those who are dealing with them mentally, those who are dealing with them physically. Mr. Speaker, even teams that believe in God or they have put gods in their whatever, you will see that there will be job creation for chaplains, for those of us who are Christians. But you have also seen in some of these, especially West African countries, where even those people, you know, with believing in ATR, African traditional religions, they bring their mascots and they pray. That is job creation within the sports academy. Mr. Speaker, I say that we shall develop capacity. We shall grow the whole sports economy within the Republic of Kenya. And we shall even be able to export sporting management capacity. Because, Mr. Speaker, we have said within this county sports academy, there will be management created. And once you have managed a sports academy in Kenya, especially in some of these big counties, you can manage even a sports academy in any other country across Africa. Mr. Speaker, I believe that this law will create great opportunities that will be used to grow the entire sports economy. Mr. Speaker, one of the things this bill is also seeking to do is to involve the local community in county academies activities. Mr. Speaker, when you look at what that means, it means in various villages in a county such as Tana River County, you will be having local communities being called to support that academy. And how do they support the activities of that academy? If that academy is set up in one of the constituencies in Tana River County, the people who are camping there, Mr. Speaker, will need food supplies. They will need clothing supplies. They will need water supplies. They will need even medical supplies. Mr. Speaker, these are business opportunities for the local communities that will be surrounding these sports academies. Mr. Speaker, can you imagine all the suppliers across the 47 counties will be having a place where they are taking foods? Mr. Speaker, employees associated with sports like nutritionists also, Mr. Speaker, will be in those academies. Mr. Speaker, I really believe that this is a good bill that the Senate has brought, and I want to congratulate the committee, the senators who have come together. I think it is Honorable Chimera and Honorable Tom Ojienda who have come together to put up this bill and help develop the entire sports economy across the 47 counties. Mr. Speaker, I really think this is one of those bills that will be a game changer once it becomes law. And I want to sit down appealing to members of the Senate who will be speaking to this bill that we should support this and pass it without much ado. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunities to contribute. Thank you.
Senator Karen Nyamo. Senator Karen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. This bill proposes to create sports academies in all our devolved units, all our 47 counties. For a long time in the country, we have decried the quality of players and the quality of performance by our national teams. And so this is an opportunity for Kenya to scout sports talent from quite an early age and from the grassroots where sports is, Mr. Speaker. Talent is mainly at the slums and at our villages, Mr. Speaker. I want to say that sports academies have been a preserve of the rich, owing to the fact that they are run as money-making entities. And therefore, if you come from the slums or if you come from the village, you stand no chance to join a sporting academy. In Nairobi, we have a model of what this bill proposes, what it can do and the impact it can have in society. The Mathare Youth Sports Association, popularly known as MISA, formed by a Canadian, Bob Munro, who passed away recently, God rest his soul, has had far-reaching impact in Nairobi. Children from the slums joined this sports association as early as 6 years, and it majorly targets or majors on football. The impact MISA has had in Nairobi, and Nairobi, the landscape even of our young people, is something that we would want to see replicated in the villages once this law comes into force. It is worth noting that from this sports association, it has produced players that made our national team. Dennis Oliech, we need to support these amendments as, and therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to support. Thank you.
Senator Osotsi Godfrey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a very, very